Repeat that. I didn't hear what you said.
How can dinosaurs logically exist in the climate where trees are like the size of skyscrapers, insects are the size of like dogs?
Yes.
How can they all exist and we can all everything shrunk down to size? Did you know the chicken is a distant cousin of the T-Rex?
Yes.
How did you know that?
Because crystallized intelligence.
But also
Crystallized.
I also feel like I don't know if I can like put my input because
fossils,
I'm
maybe.
crucified for this. But at the same time, if the trees were that size, like the dinosaurs weren't the size.
Yeah,
like
why
the
isn't there a
trees weren't.
brachiosaurus?
You're
like,
retarded,
with a
bro.
long
Stop
neck?
talking, bro. Like I can't take you serious.
In terms of the size of
why isn't there a
plants
long
and things of
neck
that
dinosaur
nature,
right
the
now?
oxygen levels back then were much richer.
Because it,
and
oh my
much
god.
thicker, yeah.
So,
I can't even. If someone's talking about if they're why aren't there dinosaurs right now, you guys are really and you're gonna take him seriously
you're the one
more
who
seriously than me.
brought out the dinosaurs.
Listen, can you go watch
hold
like,
on.
an
I didn't
episode
bring
of
them
Keeping Up with the
up. Oh
Kardashians
my
or
god.
paint your
Okay,
nails or
peace
something?
out, dumbass.
Bro.
Can you go
Hold on.
get a manicure or pedicure or something? Fuck, man.
That broad was actually
That bitch was retarded, man.
Bro, she's actually retarded. Do you not hear the way she's speaking, bro?
Bro, I'm trying my best not to say
That's
the
a
things
broad,
that, like,
bro.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, anyway, but bro, listen,
Hey,
you can't openly tell people in the modern 2024 that history is 5,000 years old, bro. You're gonna get smoked, absolutely smoked.
Bro, I'm talking about recorded human history.
I feel
Bro,
like
recorded
one of the main
human
reasons
history
I understand what you
goes all the way back to
mean.
the
It's a
Ice
little
Age.
bit.
For some
It's a little bit
motherfuckers who are gonna
semantic.
bitch and
Wait, hold up,
complain
hold up,
about
hold up,
getting
hold up.
cut off.
Hold
Y'all
up,
be
hold
cutting
up,
me
hold
off
up,
like
hold
hella
up,
crazy.
hold up,
I've been repeating the same thing 6 times.
My bad, Ryan.
Hold up,
Go
hold up,
ahead, bro.
hold up. It's
Go
a
ahead.
little bit.
Ether, hold on. We both of us spoke quite a bit. Let him speak. Go ahead, bro.
And all I'm saying is literally one fucking statement to Chum.
Go
Chum,
ahead,
Alright,
bro.
go
the
ahead.
main reason behind the disconnect that everyone is experiencing with what you're saying is that it's mainly a hypothetical situation that bases too much on probability.
Sure,
That's
but
even-
there's
that's
still a
even worse.
probability behind it.
That's it. Oh,
And
sorry. Are you talking to me or him?
I'm bringing forth this hypothetical that is
with
from
no
my
backing.
point of view is something that is there is
Like,
backing
think-
to it though.
Yo,
If
hold
you
on.
look at
I
it,
think
if you
the
put it in a
disconnect
debate,
is that
they're debating on
you're
two
being a
things,
little
you're
bit.
going on
Wait, hold up. Hold on. I think the disconnect is that you're being a little bit semantic. When you say recorded history, I'm assuming you mean like written things and stuff
Yes.
like that.
What
Yeah.
they're doing
So
right
what
now
we're
is
talking
a
about
CS
is just
debate that's
knowing
talking
about general history. Like you can know about like what was the life of like this person just by looking at their jaw or by looking at the cracks in their bones or whatever, right?
Yeah, and
This is
those are
something that we could tell.
those are also inferences. Those are educated inferences, and the
Yeah,
more
they're educated.
the more questions you ask, the more solutions you find. And
No,
I
what
think
do you
there's
mean?
nothing wrong.
But the
There's
point
nothing
is,
wrong with
inferences.
what
There's
I.
direct evidence. There's carbon dating. There's mercury dating, lithium dating. Bro, these are things that we use to even describe the climate back in the day to an edge. We can tell you the shape of a velociraptor's spine just by the way it walked and to its closest ancestors. What do you mean? It's only 5,000
Yeah,
years
but
old. If 2,000
bro.
were consumed, listen, hold on. If 2,000 of these 5,000 years, listen, bro. Let me put your logic to test. If we existed for a mere 5,000 years on this earth, right? That means all this life evolved, all the humans evolved within such a short span of
No,
time.
I didn't. No one said that. No one said that history
No,
is
but
5,000 years.
If
No,
we
but
are bringing
that's what you're
hypothetics
saying.
and
The problem
we're
is,
past
like-
the
like I
5,000
said-
mark, are we believing in biblical history?
what?
Bro,
We're not. We don't.
Bro,
about
there's
the
history
full
before the
history,
Bible.
right?
What do you mean, bro?
Exactly, but
the
that's still a part of
Neanderthal
major
man.
human history.
Yeah, the
There's
Neanderthal
certain
man
elements that are
existed
recorded
a
in
million
human
years ago,
history
bro.
that are
Ice
in
Age
the
was over
Bible.
2 million years ago.
Why are you bringing up the Bible?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
that has
Yeah,
nothing
the
to do
Bible
with
Because
is
what
first
you're
we're
talking.
talking about civilizations, and a lot of recorded civilizations,
Survival of the
Sumerian,
fittest.
Mesopotamian, and
Heroes
Babylonian
never
areas,
die.
which
Thank
was
you.
predated to the fucking Egyptians.
Only
and
2,000
I'm also
years ago.
talking if you want to record the full scope of where civilization has utilized certain
Checking in.
things in terms of minerals, where the basis
Supplying
of the
damage
first
increase.
whole argument started off of, that I showed up for at least,
We'd have to
you
go
have
back
to
a
look
million
past
years.
into that. It's further than that, but when humans
Thank you.
started to utilize materials, when humans
What do you mean,
first
thank
started
you?
to
That
utilize
disproves your point.
materials,
Okay.
Yo,
That's
Sun Tzu, I think
towards
the problem is that
It's the
he's playing a
receptiveness to new
semantic game.
information.
Wait, hold up, listen. He's
Yeah,
playing
go
a
ahead.
semantic game. He keeps saying he's saying written history, right? When he keeps saying written history, it sounds like he's talking about when he says recorded history, he's talking about written history. So he's kind of switching between two positions. He's switching between the position of history. No, because when we bring up things such as carbon dating and stuff like that, you're questioning the legitimacy and the accuracy of it, right? So the point is, you're basically trying to say there's only 5,000 years of confirmed human history. That's basically what you're saying, and you're using the semantic game of trying to conflate written history with all history, which is not true.
Okay, let me clarify my point then. What I'm saying, when I'm bringing up that
you've been
fact,
clarifying your
is I'm
point for
saying,
like 30 minutes.
okay, then let me continue
Let
him cook.
Bro,
Let him cook.
I get your point, bro. But it's not gonna get
Okay, then what's my point? Explain my point to me. Let's see
your point is humans have only allowed to progress in the mere 5,000, 6,000 years, but before that,
His point is
the
the
humans
fact
were.
that the majority of
Yeah.
why they collected gold is for aesthetic purposes.
Yeah, and I'm saying
that's
we
not
can't know
true.
that.
That's just not
That's
fucking
also
true.
incorrect. That's also incorrect.
I'm
Because
saying
That
the
fundamentally
first
doesn't make
person
sense.
that stumbled upon gold probably fucking
Okay.
picked it up because he thought it was shining, yo. That's the only fucking thing I'm
Okay.
talking about. That's
so
my
do
point.
Do you know, or are you saying probably because you don't know?
I always said probably from the start. From the fucking start, I said,
So then it's just an opinion. I don't care about an opinion. You show me a fact. Show me a source. Where are you getting this information from?
What
bro?
I was gonna
Because you
say,
think-
man,
Because you think it's comfortable? Is history comforting
There's
to you?
two different types of debates. There's CX debate
Do you
and
care
there's
about
LD debate.
reality, or you
They're
just insert
speaking on
fact here?
CX terms, you're speaking on LD terms.
you're cooked,
LD
bro.
is more philosophical.
Yeah, bro.
and
You didn't even know what gold was
you're
used
getting
for
worked
until
up.
I told
You're
you.
getting extremely worked
I'm
up.
getting worked up at the fact that you think you know more when you're asking more questions to a guy who actually knows what he's talking about. That's why I'm getting worked
This
up.
is why you don't mix LD with CX debate.
No, this is why you try not to be intellectual when you don't have the capacity to listen.
No, you can't go and say something like that. Sun Tzu, do you know the different types of debate styles? Do you know what CX and LD
What the fuck are you
is?
talking about right now, bro?
Debate
So there-
styles, bro. What,
even
this is
on,
not
even
like
on
Avatar: The
political
Last
debate
Airbender,
standards,
bro.
even on political debate standards, there's two different types of debates. There's LD, which
There's
is Lincoln
honest debate,
Douglas.
and then there's dishonest debate.
There's
Too
Lincoln
binary.
Douglas, which is more philosophical and hypothetical based, and then there's cross-examination, which is
But
reliant
I
on
don't need to be
evidence.
hypothetical with
What
something I
you're,
can
what
prove.
you're
I can prove
exactly, which is
history.
what I'm trying to
Like,
fucking
You
say.
can't
You're
prove
speaking on
shit, bro. You can't prove
cross-examination.
shit.
You're talking on cross-examination, which relies on evidence, but where are you going to bring up the evidence? Are you going to go and fucking read off the
I can refer you to the evidence, bro.
He's
I can
speaking
refer you.
on Lincoln
Sun Tzu.
Douglas, where it's more philosophical and hypothetical, and that's why you
what
don't
would you like me to
cross the two
refer
together.
you to, bro? Go
Reinhardt,
ahead, bro.
that's the realest shit I ever fucking heard in my life, and I really appreciate that you threw that out there.
What the fuck is?
But
Alright,
Sun
stop
Tzu-
sucking that
Sun Tzu-
nigga dick. It's okay.
Oh, these
Right.
days, bro. Like,
Like, but what
Okay,
the fuck?
now with these
I can tell that you're like heavily institutionalized, bro, and it's okay. But I just want to ask you, what's the
What the fuck
first
does that
thing?
mean? Heavily institutionalized. Your whole life revolves around institutions. What the fuck do you mean institutionalized? Nigga, you live in a society. You live in a government. You have a president. You have police. You have a military. You believe
your
in
guys'
anthropology,
Americanism
right? That's an
is really showing
institution.
through.
Are you fucking
Stop cutting them
retarded?
off.
Talking
Stop.
about
Wow.
institutionalized. Bro, your whole life is made of fucking
Yo,
institutions.
Ether,
Are you slow?
Pause. Let me just say one thing, guys. Please don't interrupt. Okay? Here, Ether, remember earlier we were talking about law? Because I'm not trying to flex or anything. I have decent knowledge, and even at that, I always try to say that I might not know enough. But for someone to be this confident and also try to spit information, but also not know what the main use for gold was, like those two things can't be together. It's either you know your history and you're confirmed and you stick to your guns, but in the middle you can't be like, yo, tell me, bro. You asked me like 6, 7 different questions. Even after I gave you questions and hints, you still couldn't discover what the main use of gold was. And then you're gonna turn and tell me after I've told you the reason that, oh yeah, it was just the one thing I was missing. You filled it in for me, I know the rest.
What do you mean? How did I do that?
You can't be ahead of the race and also be last.
How did I do that?
The thing is, you come in here bad faith. You come in here acting like you have questions about something, right? People give you answers, and then you act like you have the answers. You're like, no, that's wrong. Like, why would you ask the question if you had an idea, if you thought you knew what the answer was? Number one, there's no amount of convincing somebody could do.
Because it's a thinking exercise, bro. It's
It's not a thinking exercise. It's a fact. There's facts, and then there's fiction. It's not a thinking exercise.
Okay, bro.
Crazy, bro. This guy, bro, listen, information processing to you is not an honesty thing. It's not a truth thing. It's about an entertainment factor for you. I'm getting to the truth. You're just trying to get
I think
entertained.
you're projecting, bro, because you don't fucking know me.
Bro, I need to project
Let's
a history book onto
keep
you.
it.
You need
No,
to
no,
learn
no,
your
no,
history,
no,
bro.
no, no. Let's keep it a stack, bro. You don't
above.
fucking know me.
Yeah, I don't know you.
You
and
should
I
say,
wish I didn't, 'cause
based
I
off of
wouldn't
this
be outside-
experience, this is my
I wouldn't be
perceived.
outside getting caught with knowing with the nigga who's like, the Earth is 5,000 years old. I'll be like, yo, I'm out.
No one said that. No one said the Earth was 5,000 years old, my nigga.
Oh,
No one said that.
Oh, he's pulling out the N-word now. Okay.
It's a masculine thing now. It's a masculine thing. Bro, listen,
Yeah, he's trying to.
You
Yeah.
came into this room. I'm talking about other shit. I'm trying to include you in a convo. We're talking about gold. We're talking about other shit. And then you decide to just obscure the whole thing. You don't know your history. I'm trying to tell you the right thing, but you're here like being like, oh, yo, it could be this, but I don't know, but you don't know either. Nobody can know anything. Like,
Can I say something?
you sound retarded, bro.
You're way too confrontational for any productive conversation. To be
Yeah,
had.
because I take information seriously, and you guys like to miscue or like misrepresent
you up.
information. This is how you guys are constantly confused all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
I am empowering
I just want to say, I think as someone who has been listening this whole time, that it's probably just a misunderstanding, because what I was hearing is that, you were saying, you gave us the answer to, like, the gold question, and I think he took it in, but he just wanted to voice an opinion of his that, like,
That's right.
maybe, just maybe, like, not actually factually, but maybe the reason that we, like, kept gold around, probably, is because it just looked nice, and it was shiny, so...
And I get what you're saying. Believe me, I do. And I
Wait,
don't mean to
hold
cut you
up.
off.
Let her finish. Let her finish.
Go ahead, guys, sorry.
Shut him down from that idea. And
Wait,
then
hold up,
that
continue,
was, like,
continue
the
here.
end of it, and he wanted to keep talking about that question. That's where the
No,
whole
I
misunderstanding
I think-
completely
Controlling
derailed.
damage increase.
So hold on. That's your interpretation. My interpretation is no, it is. My interpretation, being engaged in the debate with him, is I addressed his direct concern. I even gave him hints, questions. He's like, yo, you're gatekeeping the knowledge. I'm like, all right, I'll tell you. After I told him, he still wanted to just put forth his same premise again, because he's like, all right, I'll give it one more try. And I'm like, dude, that's not the case. That's not the case. And then I asked him, why do you think diamond is more valuable than gold? Which still remains unanswered. But it seems
Because that has
as
nothing
if
to do with my position, bro.
you're talking about value.
It has everything to do with your position. If you're talking
what I
about
mean? Like,
why one resource is better than the rest.
Yeah,
Alright,
I'm making
what?
an analogy to the same thing
I'm talking about the
value.
history of our relationship
It's literally
with gold. and nothing
directly
to do with
analogous when we're
diamond.
talking about
You see what I mean,
gold
bro?
and
Like,
silver and which one is better and why it would be useful as a resource. Of course, we can talk about another resource
Another
and why
resource
it
that's
also
more
might be
valuable.
useful as a resource.
Hold on. Am I tripping or like?
Yeah,
Am I
you are
crazy or
tripping.
does it have anything? Like, I want to ask everyone else here. Like, my position with our relationship and our history with gold. Me answering that question with diamonds. It has no. It does not change my position whatsoever. Like, it's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant.
It's not about changing your
asking everyone
position.
else.
It's
I'm
about
asking everyone
it's
else.
about it's about furthering.
Analogy.
It's about clarifying your position. Do you understand that? When you have a
I'm
debate, you have to
helping you.
clarify somebody's position and understand where the logical extremes of their position go.
I think gold and diamond are both aesthetically pleasing things, and we both find value in them.
So why is diamond more valuable than gold?
So why are they mined in the river of Sierra Leone and shipped over here and became valuable? You know what I mean? Like, what was value? Explain the metric behind value, right? The same argument. What? Okay, hold on. Let me ask you a really good question. Why does the Chinese or the East Asian culture value emerald emerald statues? Why is the Chinese culture so into emerald?
Because it lasts long.
Well, is it more valuable than gold?
I think you're confusing my belief that.
I'm done.
No answer. No answer.
No answer. Just obscuring and diverting. Obscuring and diverting. Obscuring and diverting.
Okay, bro. I guess I'm just too stupid for you. Does that make
Yeah,
you
you
happy?
are.
You're not
So
stupid, bro.
confused.
You're just choosing to get stuck when you don't need to be stuck. You can't do
But
both,
I don't think.
bro.
Hold on. I just want to say I don't think
do
there's
both,
anything
bro.
intellectual about what's going on here. This is like
Right,
an
because
insecure
you're involved
moment.
in it. You're
No,
involved
no,
in
no,
it,
no, no,
bro.
no. An intellectual,
As
you know,
long as a
actually
guy like you is
fosters
actively
curiosity.
involved in something, bro, nothing can move further, bro. This
But
whole
you're not
conversation hasn't
curious.
moved
How?
further.
You're not
Yeah.
curious at all.
You're just standstill. You're jogging in the same place the whole time, bro. And I'm trying
And
to move you
you're
from there. Like move
in
from
your
there,
extremely bad faith as well. You
How
won't
am
take
I in
it
bad faith, bro?
because you don't have an actual position, right? You're saying that
Yeah.
history
I established my
recorded.
position
You're saying that
clearly.
you said that
You
recorded.
did, and
You
it was
said
an
that
incorrect
recorded
premise.
history only goes up to to 5,000 years ago when you mean written history.
Asinine. Anyway,
This-
bro, I'm looking to get off
You-
this topic. Anyone can just jump in and say another thing. Sure, no problem. I don't care. Whatever. I've addressed this topic more than enough, you know?
Yo, let's talk about the Kendrick shit from earlier.
Hold on.
Sure.
I got a question.
What?
This is I'm trying to change the topic because this is where I'm
Yeah,
gonna
go ahead.
get someone's nerves. Not like I'm gonna say a cuss word or anything, but let's just
What do you want to say, bro?
all right. You were there as well, and Wrecking Ball. A lot of people want to like ignore that people have better genetics and superiority of others based on someone and how they were born. You know, especially nowadays, people like try to tell other people like, hey, that's not the case, but really it is. Because if you look at history, survival of the fittest was a real thing, right?
The thing is, the fittest changed based on where your geography was. That's why you have different races that look different, that can sometimes have different like features. You know, black people are typically better at like sprinting, and you know, other races are better at like long distance. Even other like groups of black people. That's why race is not really a good like indicator. It's more about geography. Like in certain geography, certain traits were more heavily valued, and that's why people end up the way they are today. Does that make sense?
For me, it's 50-50 because. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm just.
But I like to say it's 50-50 because the thing is with geography and so on and so forth, it's I don't know how to describe it, but you basically cannot change what you are in your heart because it will be like mentally like it will basically put a toll on you because how much time it takes for you to something that you truly are now. It's not gonna be worth it, you know. At the end of the day.
I get. So he's talking about he's talking about the various types of humans that exist. Like some people are genetically more gifted, some people are more able-bodied, things like that. So that's the general gist I'm getting, right?
Okay.
But let me,
all the money.
yeah. But I'm talking about on a physical, let's just say intrinsic level. Let's just say you were the only person on Earth, and you had to be the best version of yourself, right? But you had certain traits. These are called phenotypes. Phenotypes and phenotypes. Phenotypes are physical traits: hair length, hair texture, color, eyebrow width, shape, eye shape, almond, white, whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
These play into the region that you're in, because if you'll notice, people who live in the mountains, by default, have more susceptibility to less susceptibility to these random diseases and colds because they encounter it so much. So your body physically develops, but it can only develop so much. You can never change your physical traits. You can increase the strength of your immune system. It's a science, right? Neuroelasticity and neuroplasticity. You can change the way the dendrites and the synapses in your brain are to rewire them in a way where you can literally change your brain. That's why it's called mind over matter. Oh, bro. It's a no joke.
It's because the reason why is because here's the thing. This is not me to be racist, but like,
Yes.
I'm someone that's not from America, right? Like I hate to say this, but like there are races that unfortunately suck and some who are actually amazing. Like look at
What do you
India,
mean by
for
suck, and what do you mean by amazing?
Let's go.
In
Wait,
terms
I
of
need
like
to
the
hear this.
success rate in certain sports and a certain IQ. For example, look at India, for example. Besides cricket, and they have a lot of they basically have a convenient population. What sport do they dominate or be good at, excluding cricket? Answer this question.
Talking about India?
At that point,
I don't think I've ever heard or seen India win any type of.
yeah, like you can't.
Yeah, Yeah, it's all a perspective thing.
You can't judge.
No, I'm not
you
saying
can't-
it sucks. But I'm just saying as an
Win
example,
any type
you
of
know.
World
Listen, you
championship in a
can't judge
sports
a
league.
gazelle.
Please
You can't
educate
judge a
me on
gazelle
what
by.
they seem to excel in.
Yeah, you can't judge a gazelle by its ability to climb a tree, right? If you're looking at India, you don't want to look at the sport, right? You want to look at their ability to consume knowledge and be technically gifted. They're the most amount of people that can adopt a personality and use mental prowess to scan first world country people. They scan us the most. On top of that, no, it's a real thing. It's a real intelligence thing. They have a large intelligence quotient. All the tech billionaires are right now Indian. Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, the CEO of Visa, Capital One. Those are all Indians, right? They have other things that are going for them, right? So they're very technically gifted. They consume knowledge and they're able to have a large output. They're very technically gifted, right? So
Yeah.
you don't want to look at a gazelle and be like, oh, it's a sucky climber. You know, that's not what it's for. It's an excellent dodger. That's why the cheetah has to get faster.
Yeah, I just wanted to say as an example because I know it sounded like I was framing India, but like my whole point was like I just don't understand why people in the world they like basically say like race and like other stuff doesn't matter when it literally does because it determines your survivability.
Can I explain race real quick? Like
Go ahead.
the thing with race is that race is not entirely accurate. You can't group together all Indian people, all people in the country of India. Can't group up all people in the continent of Africa. Like there are distinct ethnic because they're not the same. Like you've probably heard the statistic that there's more genetic diversity within Africa than between Africa and other races. You get what I'm saying? Like Africans and other people. Wait, no. Listen. That's not a point to disagree on. That's like a fact. There's more genetic diversity. It's not about phenotype. Like you can take somebody an Aboriginal from Australia and a Black American, right? And they look phenotypically similar, but genetically they couldn't be the furthest thing apart. Like race is not really entirely accurate. Race is more about how you look, right? But in terms of like ethnic groups and ethnicity, that can actually play a role in your genetics.
Right.
I see, but the problem with that premise is I'm not here trying to prove you wrong or anything, but me personally, I'm Afghan, and we don't really have like a designated people because you know how like typically when you know someone is from like Nigeria, for example, you know what they have commonly. With us Afghans, it's kind of hard to differentiate. How do I say this?
No.
I can't even fucking speak. To differ like someone else's ethnic group, you know?
No, if you ask Nigerians, there's many different types of Nigerians. There's different tribes in Nigeria. You have Yoruba tribe. You have an Igbo tribe. There's a lot of other tribes that are in Nigeria that have different beliefs. There are North Nigerians who are typically Muslim, right? And then you have Southern and more Central Nigerians that are typically more Christian, right? These groups of people are they're similar because they're in proximity, but they're different. They're not the same thing, right? And just because you live in a similar region, like I wouldn't say an Afghani and like a Syrian are the same person, but that's how the majority of the West sees race. Like we'll look at people who are Afghani and people who are Syrian, and we'll conflate them as the same people, right? That's because race is not really scientific.
In Afghanistan, no, but that's incorrect. Like to say race is not scientific, that's like intrinsically incorrect. But let me address.
No, I'm talking about race in terms of like phenotype, like black, white, Asian. That's not scientific. I'm saying what's scientific is further classifications, like, oh, you're from this part of Africa, or you're from this part of Asia, or you're from the Middle East, or you're from this part of Europe.
No, but race is determined by region. It's a region-based determination. That's why you're called
That's one of them, but not as a whole.
Nice.
No, but in Afghanistan, one part is Pathan, right? One part is like hard Pashtun, and then one part is Hazara. There's a distinction, right?
So yeah, that's an example, but there's like many more. Of course,
Hazara,
you know,
exactly.
you gave me an example.
No, but Hazarans look way different than Pashtuns, right? But they're stronger.
Yeah,
Hazarans are stronger. They're fighters.
Yeah, and then we have like I don't know if I'm saying it right, but we have like Iranians where like they have like blonde eyes. hair,
Yeah, these,
like blue eyes, you know. Like, that's like a European like descent on paper. But
like, are you
also
like,
Afghans have that as well.
What do you mean European?
like, are you this? Would you consider yourself the same race as those people?
Iranians are not European.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Persian?
No, I'm asking you, like,
Features,
I'm asking you, like, the people who have like vastly different features from you that are from like different ethnic groups within your country. Would you consider that person to be the same race? Because when I think of race, when I'm talking about race, I'm not talking about ethnicity. I'm talking about black, white, Asian.
yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
that
correct.
that is not scientific. I'm not saying an difference between ethnicities, like an Afghani, a Syrian, fucking British person. No, not even British, an Irish person, a Welsh, like shit like that.
Ethnicity is layers of
oh yeah, I'm
added
saying like we're
features.
different. I'm not saying like, yeah, country-wise, yeah, we speak the same language and like that's where we're from, yes. But like, other than that, no, there's difference, right?
Yeah, in phenotype, because the visual aesthetic is not what you're expecting. You're expecting everybody to be a cookie cutter model of the same thing. You're expecting a very duplicitous, like a duplicate of you, when other people have significantly different features, but also are of your kind. Right, and I think that's sort of
Yeah, in Afghanistan, like it took me a while to realize this. Not like I wanted them to look like me or anything. I'm not weird, but you know.
But you
I
wanted
just
to look
didn't
like
think
that.
it would be so different, you know.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
Like I look and there's some like I thought that this chick was a Korean, but she happens to be the same place where I'm from. I'm like, oh shit. You know,
Yeah,
things like that.
Some
you know, that's
Mongolian
interesting.
people can speak Hindi and Urdu, and they live in India, like Mongolians. A Mongolian Indian. They're Indian.
Yeah, I'm saying like genetics is beautiful, but of course it can work against someone. No, I'm not saying it's guaranteed good because I'm not gonna be a liar, but you know, yeah, I think it's beautiful.
Yeah,
personally.
it can work against people in some ways, but in other ways it's beneficial. Like everybody has something that they're genetically predisposed to, unless they're like physically disabled or mentally disabled. You get what I'm saying?
That's why, man, I'm telling you, the Greeks had it perfectly, bro. Like, train the body like, you know, you're working like a horse, but train the mind like sharper than a sword. You know what I mean? Like, be deadly in both mind and body. That's why they were at max capacity, bro. The Greeks, when you see those statues and shit, those were real people walking around daily, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Also,
things like Southern Asian and like Europe.
Yeah, they're soldiers.
Like
and stuff,
I
but
feel
they're
like
nonetheless real people.
Let
man.
the kitsune guide you.
I don't,
feel like
I don't care
what?
if I don't care if I'm gonna get called a racist for this, but like I feel like
let it rip.
around not Middle East, but Southern Asian and Europe, I feel like they're the epitome of like what can a human can achieve if they maximize everything in terms of human history, not just like a celebrity famous, you know.
The only thing I would like to counter that is that's only in recent history. Like recent history, white people have been supremely dominant, right?
That's
But
right.
if you look at
This is my favorite part.
Right.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
That's right. Right. You're living in a time. Sorry. Go ahead. No. Sorry, I cut you off. Exactly. Great point. Right there. Just to add to that, if you were living just a little bit further back, don't quote me on it, but like around the 1400s, you would have been living amongst the golden age of Islam. You would have seen Islam like you would have seen no other uprising. I'm talking gold pillars, long, broad hallways, lush Persian carpets, right? And that would be commonplace now. Now at that time, you would be like, well, yo, the whites got fucked. You'd be like, yeah, the Muslims are running shit right now. That died down. Go further back. Then you have Genghis Khan. Then you're like, yo, who's this demon just taking over 3/4 of the world? Genghis Khan. Go further back. Who's this Leonardo da Vinci?
Genghis Khan.
You know what I mean? Like, everything has its time, right? But yeah, like all in all, it came down, and white people do hold a dominance in the better parts of it. But you also have to understand that they created it, but we also are inhabiting
Alexander
it.
the
So we're,
Great.
we're directly feeding off them, but also sitting on them. But they're also kind of trying to fight us back, but they're also trying to integrate us. It's a mix and match, right? It's a both ways. Don't just say white people
Yeah.
this. Say immigrants also that. You know what I mean? So
And
it goes both
think
ways.
about some of these empires of the past.
Yeah,
Like it's pretty
yeah.
similar to now, where they're pretty ethnically diverse. Like the Ottoman Empire. What else? There's like these empires are pretty ethnically diverse. They span across like entire continents, shit like that. Like this
White
is just
people-
something that happens over time.
They'll bring engineers from India, just maybe train them in terms of their folkways and their way of life, and in terms of their logical understanding, and help them understand things a little bit better. And the Indian, because he's so hardworking and honest, because he comes from a poor country, they'll do the rest. White people just set the things, and they're excellent teachers. White coaches are the excellent coaches towards black, able-bodied, capable players who are just beaten. It's only a matter of time till Greg Popovich meets a Tim Duncan. You know what I mean? But it's a legacy
Still
thing.
watching
Like,
over you.
you know what I mean? Two guys
Yeah.
come about, and trial and error, and they land on the same team, and you get 98 Chicago Bulls. You get 98 Chicago Bulls. You get that. No, I'm saying leadership. I'm saying leadership. Just yeah. Once again,
I gotta say,
you're arguing a moot point, arguing a straw man. I never once said that one's better than the other. I'm saying the white race has prioritized leadership, vision shaping, right? The seat.
Peace be upon you.
Amplifying your power.
Because they excel in leadership style. Wait, ping. That's a direct
Yo,
correlation of what I said.
PSO wants to say something.
They're coaches, man.
all right. So this is for the Mercy, I think, that said that. The problem with like these races and stuff, and the one is like
Goodbye.
they do prioritize of like basically this the survival of the fittest. And yes, it can be different, but they share the same end goal.
I'm here to
And I'm not like I have to say this because I don't know why people think it's racist, but like unfortunately you can tell which race did it good and some who didn't do good, because I come from
Hold on.
yeah, but you gotta look at the premise though. 'Cause you can't
You're
just-
actively.
activating self-destruct sequence.
That's it.
안녕. 안녕. Hello. Hello. Hiya. 안녕. Hello there. Hiya.
Let me just add one.
But except there is though, because let me tell you.
No,
let's just say. Let's just say.
Let me add one thing. Just one thing.
Alright,
Just one
go
thing,
ahead.
please.
Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know if you realize, but I'm not trying to insult you, but you're actively partaking in the very thing that you're cautiously warning us about, but subconsciously doing it actively. You know what I mean? You're like not to be a racist, but continues with a premise that is A to be racist intrinsically. But that's okay because we'll work through this understanding, because I think you think that they're all ranked on the same platform. That's the fundamental misunderstanding. You think Earth, all the races on Earth come together, and when they compete for the same thing. That's why you don't see able-bodied Indian kids running in 100-meter dashes. That's why you see predominantly light-skinned, maybe an Asian, maybe one Asian, but mainly dominated by this. But that's why you don't see light-skinned guys running big tech,
Over here.
because it's more suited for somebody else who has a long mindset, who has a strategic mindset, right? So I think you're comparing two animals technically, a hyena and maybe like let's just say an eagle, but they both operate in different climates, man. Right? A hyena has the best, second best bite force, right? It's probably like 1,000 to something 1,100 psi, but a hyena is still less capable than a lion. But a lion is not even a good hunter. It's a good like scarer. The lioness is the hunter. You see what I mean? There's other factors involved that are directly contributing to a success of the people. Sorry, let me just boot this guy. Yeah, and your ability to access resources, your ability to, like, you can have all, bro, listen. This is why Geniuses came about. I'm not sure if you guys ever seen that movie, the Man Who Knew Infinity. It's with Dev Patel, the guy who made Monkey Man. And it's about a guy named, it's about a guy named Srinivasa Ramanujan, okay? A poor kid in the beaches of, like, the northern Bangladesh area in a village comes across a math textbook that just washed up on the shore. Opens it, understands it immediately, turns out to be like a high-level math textbook, and it has calculus and things in it, starts to extract proofs and disprove certain things with no precursor knowledge. Sends his proofs to Mr. Hardy in a well-known mathematician called something Hardy in Oxford. They read his proofs and they see that there's a genius about this person, right? So this is something that's like well established within that race. Like they have like born geniuses. Like
I think what people are struggling to understand is that some people are like literally natural born geniuses. Like literally, like some people are literally born smarter than you, and there's
like
there's nothing you can do about it.
If you're comparing a guy who is a genius to some guy who can just run fast, the guy who's a genius is light years ahead, technically. Right?
By what
It depends on the context. That's right.
Topping you up.
Yeah, like, don't get fooled
PSL
by...
God.
Alright.
I mean,
by, like,
historically, intelligence has been the better trait to have, right? Like,
That's right.
For humans, intelligence has been the better trait to have.
That's right.
Because here's the thing, I'm not saying I'm an intelligent guy because I was born with basically being tall and have a good physical body as much as I play games. I just can't run away from the fact that that's what I have. Of course, I'm not saying I have six packs on day one, but you know, I'm just saying. And another point is that against, let's just say like a genius versus a fast runner. The problem with that statement as a whole is like the fast runner, maybe he's not running very optimal compared to someone that is a genius. It's a snowball effect if someone is a genius, because whatever they do, they can use their IQ for everything they do. Versus when a race is good at like running, what can you do running compared to having like a genius mind? It's a snowball effect.
And that's proving the very premise that you were arguing. Like, so you just came across like a big circle. Right? Initially, you argued that other races are better than others, but then in the end, you said both are doing different things. But what purpose has it, right? And that's what I'm trying to touch on. If you're pitting up a fast racer to a guy who's a genius, then the very competition is flawed. No, you can question the nature of the competition, right?
And the thing is, people wait, hold up, one more thing, and I'll let you speak. Right? The thing is, you gotta understand that just because your group is good at something doesn't mean you specifically are gonna be good at that. There are people who don't have the same exact genetics as their group. There's some people who are born smarter within their group and compared to other groups, and there's people that are born to run faster even if their group is supposed to be slower, and there's people who run slower even if their group is supposed to be faster. It's just not as likely. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Genetic
who's better?
variability is necessary around, you know, every single variable of that like type of person is valuable, or else it wouldn't be there in the first place. It wouldn't have made it this far.
Yeah, like who do you think is better? Like Usain Bolt, who's like a 100-meter dash king, or that Ethiopian guy Ukio or whatever, who can run for just days at a time at like a disgusting pace, right? Who do you think is better?
Yeah, it's like you can't compare it. You just can't compare it. It's just two different things.
But by default, the one who can do the physical activity longer, by default, is the winner, right?
Well, if it depends on the competition.
Agreed. But I'm saying in terms of ability exertion.
Is under the same circumstance.
I'm saying if it's about stress, pressure, yeah. We've established that. But I'm trying to help him understand that you have to really take like a one-sided competition, and then whoever is in that field will win. That's what I'm trying to help him understand. I know, but I think he thinks that like having a caveat or having like a genetic predisposition, but like willingness and being like relentless and having a work ethic. And if Kobe Bryant was that talented, he wouldn't bother Michael Jordan at 2 a.m. asking him very specific questions in like how to do a fadeaway from the paint. You know, if Kobe Bryant was that much of a genius, and no, because he understands that like it takes more than that. You know, and that's why Kobe's whole play style is modeled after Jordan, and Jordan did it naturally, having no one to look at, but Kobe had someone to look at, right?
And the thing is, there's a place for everyone in a society. Yes, as an individual being more intelligent is good, but you can't have a society that's only filled with intelligent people. You need some people that are dumber, that have to work, that have to do the work that nobody else would do. You need people who are stronger as opposed to smarter for certain tasks.
100%.
Like this is the problem. If you want to, let's just say that race, let's just say like we want to be 50-50. He's basically saying who's gonna fill up the gaps over there, and then it's becoming unnecessarily competitive. And it's just gonna be unhealthy.
There's no gap there. India doesn't care about 100-meter dashes. They don't care about that.
I'm just saying, like, let's just say they share exactly the same thing, the same strength and everything on the dot. Who is gonna do the other stuff that they're not gonna care about?
Yeah, the third person who doesn't have that capability, I guess. It's whatever's left over, right? There's a reason why.
Treatment ongoing.
Do your worst.
How does a guy move? Yeah, like how does a guy move into the woods by himself when his race has always been in a community? Move to the woods, go off grid, build his own log cabin, take a year doing it, and just live with just like a fire and like doing like basic shit. Because like a nigga wants to, and he just wants to test himself, and whatever. If he reproduces, then the next guy's gonna do the same thing or not. But some guy went and did it. That's it.
Like think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Think about it like this, right? What you're describing, right? I'm talking to the PSL God guy, right? What we've been talking about is the place that we're at now. If we think about the first group of humans, right? All of those humans were probably a specific way. But like he said, somebody decided to venture off and do this. And then that person ended up reproducing. And as they kept doing that and moving to different environments, things change. Groups that were once the same become slightly different to even more different to different groups, right? Sure. And that's within every group, right? Let's say that's why if you look at the genetics of a Black American and the genetics of an African from West Africa, where the slaves were taken from, they're different.
Yes, that includes everything as well, not just like about only genetics, because like I said, it's a snowball effect. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but like if you have the same, let's just say every country was born at the same time, right? Let's just say they have a race like who's like the most successful or becoming the top. Most likely it's going to be Asians and European descent or Southern Asians being on par.
That's no.
Like I'm trying to help you understand that like the very scenario that you described is like a circumstantial thing, and even at that, you think that the outcome is predetermined if they're all fighting for the same thing. If they're all fighting for the same thing and the category is intelligence, then someone else wins. Like Asians will win if it comes to, let's just say, a way of life. Buddhists will win in terms of like protecting your identity and being pure.
Well,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
saying
Like-
as a whole, not just like one particular. Obviously, it wouldn't make sense if I said only one particular.
Like, what do you mean as a whole? Like, they're killers,
It-
they're
that-
geniuses, they're the best harvesters, like that?
The way of life and everything, how like Earth has been around. Because
That would be
obviously-
Greek. Yeah, that would be Greek.
Exactly, because like there are things like it's hard for me to explain because like people are so I'm not trying to be like rude, but like people are so used to seeing 50-50 on everything. I don't think that's humanly impossible for an actual real human being to see it like that on the dot, because unfortunately you are gonna see some things are cool or some are not so much cool, or some are interesting, some are not so interesting. You know.
Right.
I think the problem.
Right. Yeah.
The problem with what you're saying is that you're trying to say that in the end you act like you agree with us, but then you say, "Oh, but whites and Asians would do the best." It sounds like you're not really listening to what we're saying.
It's my goat, PSL God.
Yeah, like PSL God, like I hope you understand to a certain degree that when you make a premise of what you made earlier, what you said now is the direct conclusion to what we were trying to tell you, but you just said it yourself in your own way, but you think somehow it furthers your point. But what I'm trying to tell you is,
I'm trying to respond
to make a I'm saying like to make a circumstance whereby your whole thing was what's the better race. That's the whole crux of the argument, right? What's the best race, right? Am I right?
Well, yeah, because I was trying to respond back to Mercy because I mean I'm gonna say it later, but I'm gonna let you finish.
No, you can say it, but I want to make sure that I understand you. Yeah.
Okay, so I know there are races they're not gonna follow everything on the dot. Obviously, there are points where like they follow different type of cultures and whatnot. But I'm saying like if they want their country to be successful, right? It wouldn't make sense for them to fundamentally like to basically not have a country where it's a good place. You know, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't like it doesn't make sense. Like let's just say like Africa. Let's just say Africa is the worst place to live at. If that
Africa's a continent. You gotta be specific.
Yeah, hold on, Ethan. Let him just make his blanket statement. I'm just trying to see what he thinks. Go ahead.
So let's just say you live in the third world country, right?
Okay.
And you get an offer. Let's just say you're a president, right, in the third world country, and you get an offer to be at the place feeling like you're in the first world country or upcoming the first world country. You wouldn't think about anything but trading places with that country or getting that offer, would you?
Enemy contact.
Okay. So you're saying
yeah, but
you're better off in a first world country, right? You're saying you would take the
if you want to be in the first world,
right?
Yes.
What if being in the first world is not what you want to do, but rather be with your family and you just want to die whatever country you're living in?
Well,
Duplicating Sarah. I can fix that.
Yeah. So I'm saying like you change the goalpost. Like he went from like a strategic scientific battle to like who's more patriotic in terms of opportunity.
Okay, that I can see is like me talking about
move the goalpost.
The reason why, but the reason why I share that is because race and country, I know they're different, but it could also be the same because let's just say like, oh, you didn't want what you asked for. Yeah, you thought first world country is good. You're thankful, but it's not what you expected. That's what you're saying, right? So you can still shape up to the way your culture is, because at least with first world country, you have like improvements or something to do, because you're in a first world country, right? You have good stuff going. And you can make that into your own home. As in, if you're in a third world country, you don't have resources to do that, or have good resources to do anything.
So how do?
Thanks for the heal. Shouldn't have put your head there. Nano boost administered.
Yeah, but the thing is with race is like it also determines who's successful and who's not.
Right.
You're switching between two things. You're switching between race and you're switching between country. You have to choose one and you have to defend that.
Alright then, let me say from this.
I'm getting him to talk so he gets to the point. Now he's here. He's to the point. Now he's gonna say what he said first.
Why? Okay, so why would anyone in the right mind would want? Let's just say like your race is like smart, right? Anyone that's smart, regardless of race.
Like who? Like who? So give me specifics. Like who?
Alright. Well, I'm saying in general. Let's just say like your race is known to be smart or whatever, right?
So what is a race that is known to be smart?
Alright. I would like to argue Asians, right?
Okay, so let's say Asians.
There's
why
no
do you think
reason for different
Asians are smart?
ethnic.
Why do you think Asians are smart? I just want to know.
Oh, it's because they were gifted. That's why. Nothing to do with the geographical area.
Okay, but why did all the people in East Asia get gifted?
We have unwelcome guests on the
Your mic
objective.
was weird.
YOLO.
9.
Why did all the people in East Asia get gifted? What is the gifted part about
What's
Asia?
up?
Oh.
Well, they just they were born with higher IQ, and that's of course they had to like practice, of course, because otherwise if you can't.
How do you practice if you're born with higher IQ?
Right.
I'm saying that they're able to show that they have a higher IQ because they were born.
Yeah, you know
with
that
it.
everyone's actually born with
The
0
enemy
IQ.
advances on our point. Hello.
That is not the case.
It's true.
Sumatra at your side. Zenyatta is here.
Like in terms of race and how people are born, they're gonna be ahead. There's no question about it. I don't know why it's so bad to say that.
It's not bad to say that.
You're
I'm just saying, no race is good at everything. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So when you're saying this race is better overall, right? I'm not. First it was physicality, right? You said Afghans are not that gifted, whatever the case is, and you're like, I don't see the difference. But some of them have like different traits. Then you went on to more like physicality, maybe masculinity, whatever the case was. Then you started referring to people who are physically fit. But then I told you that you're like trying to bring two things together that don't have a comparison, right? If you want to compare a hyena to something else that is like a hyena, that's a fair comparison. You would compare a deer and a gazelle. You wouldn't compare a deer and a jaguar. Like, you wouldn't even result any good information out of that.
Yeah, but
they're two different climates.
Can I jump in real quick?
Yeah,
I think the issue for you, PSO God, is the fact that the way you're arguing is not really, I wouldn't say it's bad faith, but it's not really in good faith. It's because you keep moving, you keep changing the goalposts about what you're saying. Like, first you're talking about genetics, you're talking about physicality, then you're talking about intelligence, then you want to switch to, oh, it's where you were born. It's like you kind of have to take a position and choose it and then stick with it, right? And like you can't just sit here and what you call it? Like you have to choose a position. Yeah.
Right, but guys, to just iterate quickly, very quickly, right? I do this a lot with people, but some people just might not be aware that when they're asserting a statement, they're directly contradicting themselves because they might not be keeping track of what they're saying earlier. They're just kind of talking about in the air. Maybe that's the case, right? So that's why I keep reminding him. I'm like, I hope you know that what you said now contradicts what you said earlier, right? That's all I'm really on right now, because I don't think he understands, right? Because he's kind of just like scattershot, like he's just shooting it everywhere, right? So I don't know, maybe that's the case, whatever the case is. But let me tell you something else. Asians are also the majority that dominate the breakdancing scene, right? Something very peculiar, but very specialized. Why? They have no ability to be as physically fit. Sure, the physically fit people do partake in breakdancing, but Asians are able to do it not because of superior strength, but because of understanding and technique. That's another side of intelligence.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Well,
the umbrella intelligence.
Have you guys seen Australia's breakdance though?
It's about understanding the limitations of your body and contouring your body to a certain way where you can do things such as a flare, right? Like things like that, like a windmill.
All right, go ahead, and then I'll say my piece. Okay, so I was just responding. I was responding to Mercy. It wasn't really like my main point. That's why it seems I'm scattered because my point is short and short. I'm gonna say it in short, but if there's success for a certain race or country or anything, they're gonna take it. There's no reason for them not to. It wouldn't make sense. That is my point.
That wasn't even your original point, brother.
Well, I was responding back to him.
You're arguing like a move.
Experience tranquility.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Okay, so I like to go backtrack a little bit where we talked about the animals. Yeah, you can technically say a tiger and a cat. It's like a cat, right? They share the same whatever. But the problem is one of them is born strong, and the other one not so much. That's the real scenarios in real life. That is the case. I'm saying survival of the fittest is a thing.
Step right up.
So I don't know why it's
not survival of the fittest.
But I don't know why it's such like a. But I don't know why it's been shared as an example.
You're arguing a wild animal. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
We have unwelcome guests on the objective.
That's right.
Where there's smoke, there's fire. Damn it.
Topping you up.
I got it. Take him out. Not every fight's a fair one. Step right up. Hey. Hello.
Right by you.
These barrels are smoking. You don't know when to quit. Trigger finger's still itching.
So, Corky, excellent point. Excellent point. Let me just add like the nail in the coffin there, okay? PSL, let me ask you a quick question. It's gonna sound weird, but I think it's gonna help me differentiate as to what you think or intelligence is. Because to me, intelligence is like a multi-faculty, very compartmentalized whole like a warehouse which houses different doors you can open to access that intelligence, right? There's emotional intelligence that salesmen have. There's mathematical technical intelligence. There's foreshadowing that forecasters have who work in workforce. There's people who have a general overall better outlook on society. That's why they're architects and they're engineers, civil engineers. Right? Intelligence has a very broad, like pinpointing, region-based, approach. But I want to ask you, who do you think is objectively smarter, like Isaac Newton or Albert Einstein? And there's a reason why I'm asking this, right? Based on who you answer.
So I'll say my definition of intelligence, then I'll answer it. So my definition of intelligence when it comes to life in general is able to like use your mind into any situation or to be flexible as possible, because if you're only good at one thing, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're smart, except this one thing. It just you want to make your mind and your brain to be useful as possible whatever you encounter. So
Genji is with you.
Right up. It's high noon.
I'm on fire. Effervescent.
That's right.
Whoa.
That's why I'm trying to help him understand. That's why I'm trying to help him understand. That's why I asked him a very specific, specialty-based question. Both guys are specialists. One invented calculus, the other invented, like, the theory of relativity. So, in your understanding, based on your metrics, who do you think is smarter, Isaac Newton or Albert Einstein?
Okay, this one's a hard one for me to pick, and I like to